What's good, everyone? What's good, everyone? It's your boy. What's good? It's your boy Jason, and in today's video, I will be showing a guide on survivors and killers' playstyles, difficulties, and what their abilities do in Roblox Forsaken. Keep in mind that this is only for Forsaken beginners. So, if you're a Forsaken beginner, you will you will see me explain what the abilities do and what's the playstyle. Okay, so what you're looking at right here is a killer. And starting off, we're doing the killer's slasher, which was originally Jason but removed due to copyright infringement. Because technically, in Forsaken, Jason was removed because they didn't want to get sued. They didn't want to get sued because Jason was a fictional character in the iconic horror movie Friday the 13th. And yeah, this is Slasher, a killer that replaced Jason. He has four abilities. A normal slash. I'm gonna showcase the abilities. Slash deals 20 damage every hit and has a cooldown of 2 seconds. The second ability is Behead. Is Behead does 20 damage like like slash, but but instead but instead when you use this ability, let me turn on no cooldowns so I don't have to wait. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, oh yeah. When you when you use Beheat, it lunges you forward. It it does a little wind up, lunging you a bit forward, and which is great too, and also gives helpless for about 10 seconds before the effect is taken off. And right here that right and the third ability is Gashing Wound. I know you haven't seen the full ability, but the animation is really good. It does if you when you land the ability, it has it has a relatively huge hitbox. So yeah, it is really good for it is really good for cornering players and catching them off guard. It does astonishing 50. It does a really good 50 damage, which is half 100 damage, meaning you approximately need to hit two gashing wounds to either kill Shaletsky or other survivors, which would kind of which are coming right up. Okay, and and plays the really sick animation. The last ability is Raging Pace. Upon activating Raging Pace, the killer is practically unstunnable, me- why should why did I say that? Anyways, like sentinels like Shaletsky, Gas, two time chance, and Builderman cannot stun the killer until the the ability runs out. The killer the killer gets a slight faster walk speed, gets a slight higher walk speed, and 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 not only gives you a little bit of speed, it also buffs the ability's damage. Take a look. Upon activation, doing the landing a slash will deal 25 damage, while while you hit B hit while in raging pace can deal. Wait a minute. There, it deals a astonishing 35 damage, which is really good. But for gashing wound, it does it does a beautiful clean 70 damage. Yeah. Slasher is pretty good if you know how to use him correctly. And it he obviously doesn't have any ranged ability, so he can be pretty looped pretty easily unless he has a really good advantage. On to the on to the next killer, which is Cool Kid. He costs he costs 900 player points, so you have to grind like a couple of rounds to get him if you're good at the game. He also has cool voice lines and has four abilities. His first ability, wait, let me turn down the volume a bit. Let me turn on the volume a little bit. Yeah, what you heard here is his idle voice line, which we'll get to later. As as you can see, Koke has four abilities. The first ability, the first ability is Punch. It deals 26.5 damage, which is a bit much because Slasher's slash ability deals only 20 damage. No, no, bro, that is zero logic, bro. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Cool Kid is raised. Cool Kid's lore explained in like under 30 seconds or something. Cool Kid was left on 0077's doorstep, which is 007 is a survivor, and Cool Kid was still a little baby, which was less as, which then he was left at 0077's doorstep due to having a skin condition, and then 007 retired from hacking to being then he retired from hacking and now become a parent for Cool Kid. Cool Kid is 10 years old. So yeah. The second ability is Corrupt Nature. It shoots out a flying brick that when it de- if you hit it, if it throws out this really cool flying brick. And if you have I recommend turning on shift lock because you need to aim when chasing someone like this. For example, someone is up here, and then you have to correctly use your shift lock and then move your camera slightly to aim it. As you can see, as you can see. Oh yeah, and it slows down the survivors you hit, and not only that, it highlights the survivors. So yeah, you can catch them off guard. Alright, the third ability is called Walk Speed Override. It lunges Cool Kid really far, dealing it lunges Cool Kid far, dealing 30 damage, and inflicts bleeding onto survivors for a couple of seconds. It also it the animation is that Cool Kid turns on his cool GUI hacks and then gets his Firebrand sword from Swordfight on the Heights and leans it forward to try to catch the survivors off guard and slice them and stab them. Which then Cool Kid Cool Kid moves like this, and it cannot be steered. Look, and you can't and 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 yeah, specific. Yeah, it only launches him for about 1 second before he stops. Eventually, sadly, it cannot be steered. So yeah, you can also hit a wall, but it looks like this. So yeah, yeah. All right, on to the last Cool Kids ability, which is pizza delivery. Pizza delivery is a ability on Cool Kid which spawns two pizza clones or two pizza bots or two pizza bots which locate the nearest survivor and if you get hit by two minions, they inflict burning onto you for a few seconds before the burning, and then and then uh, and then the pizza bots the pizza minions disappear eventually, and also highlight the survivor. So yeah, Cool Kid is pretty good, not gonna lie. Anyways, anyways, on to the next kill. Anyways, on to the next killer, which is John Doe. He John Doe is a killer that costs 1,000 player points, which is 100 more than Cool Kid. He has four abilities, like usual. He also got a really cool revamp. So yeah, W's to the developers that revamped them after this Guest 666 update. He is he is based on a test account that eventually got died and got corrupted and got brain to Forsaken. He has four abilities. The first ability is a slash, is his M1 attack, which does 28 damage. The high meaning the highest M1 damage, the highest killer's M1 damage is John Doe's being 28. Anyways, on to the second ability, which is called Corrupt Energy. It shoots down it shoots down a layer of spikes. Take a look. Yeah, it shoots out spikes. Yeah. And look at this. You can also steer the spikes. So you can like do this. So you can also like trick the survivors and like ambush them or whatever. If for every oh yeah, if you only get hit by one spike, if you only get hit by one spike, one Jondo spike, you only get you only lose 12 health. It only deals 20 damage. Two spikes deals 24. Uh yeah. Yeah, look at this. Look at this. Yeah, the maximum is getting hit by like four or five spikes. Four spikes deal like I don't know, 48 damage or something. I don't know. Three spikes is 36 damage. So yeah, it is pretty good to catch survivors off guard. Digital Footprint is John Doe's ability. He oh yeah, John I also forgot to mention that John Doe whenever John Doe moves, he lets out a trail of his corruption, which after you step on it, you get corrupted for a few seconds, for like 3 or 4 seconds. Okay, yo, 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 I wonder who is this? But okay, John Doe's digital footprint ability. John John Doe digital footprint. Digital footprint's ability is a John Doe ability, which he then stops on the floor 3 times very aggressively and then lets out a little trap. This is perfect for maps like the like the Fun House and Cool Carnival and many other maps. After it has a 8 second cooldown. It has a 7 to 8 second cooldown, meaning you can meaning you can spam it. Meaning you can spam it as but the survivors can see it in some specific spots. So yeah, John Doe is pretty hard to use if but not really if you're a pro. Okay. Once if someone steps on the if someone steps on your digital on John Doe's digital footprint, they get they get hit with corruption too and slowness with to uh with a couple of seconds, probably like 10 seconds here. Yeah. And finally John Doe's last ability, 404 error. 404 error is John Doe's ability which lets you see all the survivors around the map. It is like a ESP ability. That's it. Yeah, it also slows down John Doe. And it also gives me a and whenever he gets stunned while in his 404 error ability, he gets stunned for like 1 or 2 seconds. Yeah, it is a pretty good buff. And yeah. Anyways, next killer. Anyways, guys, on to the next killer, which is Noli. Noli is a Forsaken killer based on a real account, based on a actual real account, also called Noli, which is probably a glitch in the system or something. If you see, he's using a void star and a void crown, as you can see, and he has 4 abilities, ob- obviously, and his 4 abilities are stab, void rush, and observant. His passive ability is hallucination. Hallucination one. Hallucination one afflicts survivors with hallucination one, meaning different 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 strength of hallucination. Uh, different hallucination levels are can mess with things. Like look, hallucination one messes with the timer. Hallucination 2 spawns fake items yeah which inflict once you use Noli's fake items, it will afflict you with hallucination 1. Yeah. And you might get inflicted with hallucination, causing you to see his clone. And there are also fake generators around the map. So yeah, we'll get to that later. John Doe what did I say John Doe? Why? Why? Noli's first ability, Stab, deals 25 damage every hit. Yeah, cool, I know. And Void Rush is a ability. That's it. Yeah. The stab is just yeah, decent. Void Rush is a ability that after wind up there's also a little bar. There's on PC you have to hold it and then and yeah. No, it has pretty much voice lines and it's just like a glitchy soundboard or some shit like that. Okay, okay, alright. And once he hits a survivor, he he will he will do a wind up again, and then he will and then and his his void rush bar fills it all the way back up. And then he gets and then the damage increases every time you hit a different survivor, and once you hit the same survivor with void rush, he slams the survivor onto the ground. He slams the survivor right onto the ground, dealing a dealing a good amount of damage. So yeah, Noe is pretty good. Third ability, Nova, where his ability is Noe's ability, where he lets out his uh his power core, whatever it is, called the Void Star, which is probably like a core of the subspace trim mine or something, but I don't know. Apparently, it is really good power. It holds really good power, and Noli has it floating in his hand, obviously, in design. Yeah, obviously, I'm not stupid. Yeah, although I'm not being mean, just like saying. Anyways, let's get right back into the video. Noli shoots off his Void Star, and and if one survivor hits it, and if the Void Star hits a survivor, it it will it will connect them right to the Void Star for 1 second, and then dropping them, eventually dealing 15 damage. Yeah. Observant Observant is Noli's ability. Noli's last ability is Observant. Observant is one of Noli's abilities where kind of like ESP abilities or whatever. I don't know. Let's just say it's just his ability. Okay. Noli's ability Observant. He inspects his Void Star until you click the ability again on mobile, and then he will t- and then once you use the Observant ability, you you will take a look at one of Noli's smiling faces, which like blind the screen or whatever. Only for the survivors though, not for the killer. And then once you click on one of those, you teleport to the generator or one of your fake generators apparently, and then to that's ambushing survivors and catching them off guard. Yeah, obviously. And then once and then once once you teleport, you need to wait a long time to get the ability to active again. And then and then you and then if you use the ability while if you use the ability while a survivor is doing your fake generator, they will be highlighted and get afflicted with hallucination. That's it. Next killer. 1x1x1x1. 1x1x1x1 is the second most expensive killer in the game, costing 1,250 player points in Forsaken. He has he is the first He is the first killer before Guest 66 to have 5 abilities so far. Sorry for the lag. Sorry. Anyways, he wields 2 swords, which are probably Dark Hearts, also from Swordfight on the Heights. He has 5 abilities: Slash, Mass Infection, Entanglement, Unstable Eye, and Rejuvenate the Rotten. His slash does his slash does 20 damage. Yeah, it does 20 damage according to accumulated hit markers. Yeah. His Mass Infection ability, 1x1, leads out a green slash which moves at hypersonic speeds, and if you hit a survivor with Mass Infection, they deal 35 damage along with being glitched and poisoned for a few seconds. So yeah, it is perfect for LMS or catching them off guard or catching survivors off guard. Oh yeah, this video will only be for killers, and I will be planning to do a survivor guide. So yeah. The third ability, Entanglement. 1x1x1x1 shoots out 2 swords which go for which move at fast speed. And if you hit a survivor with entanglement, it deals 10 damage. Not only that, not only that, but not only that, but if you hit entanglement, it does still 10 damage, but also but also gives survivor a little mini game where 4 to 5 pop-ups show up and you have to click and the and the player has to click through every single one. Otherwise, and they will be officially locked. They will literally be locked in place until they finish the game, giving you a huge advantage, causing you to deal a good amount of damage. Oh yeah, I forgot that Mass Infection has a close-up range where it does 60 or to 63 damage when a close-up. Yeah, yeah, 63 damage. So yeah. Here's my tip for 1x1. When you hit your entanglement, immediately go up to the survivor and do the close range mass infection. Do the close range mass infection, which does 63 damage. Use it only if the survivor is slow to play the minigame thingy. 1x1's fourth ability, Unstable Eye. 1x1 rips his eye, giving him blindness 3 for 5 seconds, and speed 1 for 5 seconds, and for 6 seconds, and speed 1 for 6 seconds. And also, which is also an ESP ability, making him see everyone on the map, but he's also blind. So yeah. His last ability. Oh wait, there's someone in my server. I had to get sharp. Anyways, his last ability, Rejuvenate the Rotten, is just like Cool Kid's minions, but they can disappear when they hit someone. Oh yeah, oh yeah. At the end of the video. I will say the difficult, bro. At at the end, I will say their difficulty, how much health they have, and their simple play style, and other things. Rejuvenate the Run is one accessibility where look, where he hits a entanglement, he gains only one charge for the Rejuvenate the Rotten ability. Which then once all if he for every single dead body he spawns, one minion is spawned on the dead player's body or dead survivor's body, and every hit they do, and once the survivors get close enough to one of 1x's minions, they will start charging at him until they can use their ability like charge or block or stun or slash or whatever. And then and then and then 1x minions, every hit deals 14 damage, which is pretty good, not gonna lie. Which is pretty good in Last Man Standing. So yeah. So yeah, 1x is a pretty good killer. With 1x is a pretty good killer in Forsaken, only if you use it correctly. And yeah, 1x stabs himself. Yeah, the Rejuvenate the Rotten abilities animation. 1x stabs himself with his two swords, and which then and his betrayed 1x1x1x1 version says I cast Necromancy Rise, which is pretty fire. Okay, guys, this good. Okay, uh, okay, guys, it is time to look at the killers. Anyways, guys, it is time for us to look at the killer's difficulty, description, health, and so much more. but I can say how much health they have right now. Slasher has 1,250 health, which is the second, which is probably I don't know, which is really damage so much health. Cool Kid has the lowest health, being 800. Yeah, that's low. John Doe has 1,500 health, which is really good, which is much. Yeah, I don't know what I'm saying. Noli has 1,111 health, and 1x1x1x1 has 1,100 health. And now let's take a look at his abilities. It is time for us to look at his abilities. We already looked into that. Slasher's difficulty is 2 stars. Is 2 stars. So he's a pretty simple killer to play. It has a very simple play style. Cool Kid, on the other hand, has a 3-star difficulty rating. So he has a simple but fair playstyle, which is a medium playstyle. John Doe. John Doe has 5-star difficulty, meaning He's the hardest to master in the Forsaken. So yeah, Noli also has a 5-star difficulty. He is very hard to master and learn. 1x1 has a 1x has 4-star difficulty, meaning he's a bit hard to use, but not a problem. And that is my fellow Forsaken beginners, all the killer stats and what they do in Forsaken. Next video, I'm gonna try out Survivors. So make sure to like and subscribe. If this guide was useful, drop leave a comment and leave a comment. Leave a nice comment. Leave a comment if you enjoyed. And most and Jason, peace out.